Hey, it's me, unapologetically T, and I am here. I look a little like I don't know, I was asleep, but I was meditating. It probably turned into sleep. Sometimes it happens. I don't consider it sleep because I be consciously like aware of my thoughts. And it's not like I'm in a dream where, like everything is vivid. It's just more, I don't know, like I'm in control. I don't know. I call that my meditation when I'm like consciously thinking in my sleep. But there are times where I'm dreaming and I'm conscious of it. But I literally had sound bowls playing and was in a meditative state, and then woke up feeling like, oh, ooh, sleepy. Um, but me and the dog wanted to come outside. I could start doing my videos sitting on the ground. It's a little chilly today, so the wind is really blowing, which I love. I don't know if y'all can hear that. I love when the wind show off. I love them trees too. I need to go hug a tree today. Maybe that's what I need to ground myself, like go hug a tree. But I came on here to do this video because while I was meditating, I literally, was tapping into like the mother spirit. I have been very clear. I struggle with like mother wounds, father wounds, all that stuff. But I think I struggle mostly with my mother wounds more than anything. Just because she had the most probably contact with me. And I trusted her the most. So I have a lot of mother wounds that I have been navigating, working on, and all that stuff. So today, like I would say like a very feminine, divine energy was there. And like for me, I call different stuff different things. You call it what you want. It was a mother spirit, like to me it was like the ultimate mother spirit or feminine energy in the room with me. So anyway, it was coming up about like mastering the elements of this planet we live on, and the elements, those same elements are in ourselves, and learning how to master those. And um like I identify like with the water element a whole lot. I mean a whole lot. And it's funny because I was like, well, I feel like I've been mastering all these other elements, but I'm not even mastering my main element that's assigned to me. And it was funny because like in response, the mother spirit was like, that's not true. You have been mastering that element since you were younger. And a story came up. This story used to be so traumatic for me, and this time it wasn't. This time I got to see the, not even just a lesson in it, but like the purpose in it. So I'm gonna name this one how I learned how to swim. And I have been so transparent with you guys. Like I was raised to be like a little nigga, a little boy, a little rough, tough little boy. I was not afforded the princess treatment besides having favor. Now, granted, things I would do sometimes, I could wiggle my way out of it because of my cuteness. But 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 when it came down to being raised and being trained on certain things, I got the hard, tough love treatment. And so to some I might come off aggressive, I might come off too strong, and I'm sorry. I have learned through this journey, matter of fact, sorry, not sorry, I've learned through this journey that I am who I am, and I literally was brought up different. Um, so to say all of that, this is one of the stories of like my upbringing was definitely different from a lot of people's upbringing. So for me, it's a day. I'm very young. I'm probably like in first grade, maybe even second. And I had been in the water before. Just never had been into, you know, like a pool, a big pool to go swimming. I hadn't been yet. Like to go swimming, but I had been to the ocean, and I had like the little kiddie pools in the backyard. So when I say that, I never really had opportunities to know how to swim. I wouldn't know how to, float, without drowning, that type of stuff, like doggy paddle, survival stuff, like, but never knew how to swim, was never afraid of water, actually loved water. So, but mind you, since I've only had the kiddie pools, never really had the experience of knowing how to swim, just bathtub, kiddie pools. And I did get to go to the ocean, but if I'm a small child, they're not letting me go far. So, um, I remember like my mom was on this trip with me because at that time, like she would, if my dad would take me somewhere, she would supervise it. So, and it was only for that. It was only from when he would go fishing because she felt like if he's fishing, he can't watch me. So she would go with me. And, so I remember her being there. But once again, this is a time where this is why I have mother wounds. So I remember her being there, excuse me, and I have a blemish. I remember her being there, and she just walked outside, but I'm gonna still do my video. I don't care. I'm telling the truth. So that if she want to be overhearing her neglect, then that's on her. But anyway, so I remember her being there, but I don't remember her stepping in. And she didn't. So it's not even that I don't remember, like she just didn't. So I remember like I remember that same day, like my father had caught a stingray and like just odd stuff was happening, like, and we were at the shore, we weren't even at the pier at this time, so like just a bunch of odd fun stuff was happening that day. And yeah, it was crazy. So it was a really strange day that day as far as fishing. And I mean, if you fish and you find odd stuff in the water, like, yeah, finding a stingray isn't odd, but like it was other stuff that was found that day, like that I'm I'm trying to like conceptualize, like, oh my gosh, like as a kid to see that, it was like really cool. It was like an interesting day. So when I say weird, maybe more like interesting, as far as a fishing day for us. And I was like, Dad, I don't know how to swim. I remember saying that. Like, I don't know how to swim. He was like, oh, nobody ever taught you how to swim. And I was like, no. And he was like, so you really don't know how to swim? And I was like, no, I don't know how to swim. I know how to float, but I don't know how to swim. And so he was like, all right. He picked me up. Back then, I was like very little. I was always the small one. And like, so I was very little. He picked my little ass up. Like, I had no weight issues. Matter of fact, I might have been too tiny. And he picked me up, and this nigga threw me, like he walked into the ocean and threw me into the ocean. And mind you, yeah, somebody can throw you in a pool, and it's still dangerous if you're scared of the water. Even if you're not scared of the water, and let's just say you don't know how to swim, it's still dangerous to be thrown in the pool, right? So to this day, my daughter doesn't let up on me because she used to get thrown in the pool with fucking floaties. And it was scary for her. She tells me to this day, like, y'all used to traumatize me doing that. And I never really looked at it as traumatizing because I'm like, I got it out the mud. Like, so I'm looking at it like her, learning how to swim experience was different from mine because number one, you was in the pool and then water, like in the oceans and stuff like that since you was a baby. Like you've been loving this. And I didn't realize like I traumatized her by throwing her in the pool water. I just thought like, any little kid is like, oh, a little scary, but like I didn't know that it had that effect on her. However, it did. And so, but for me, I was like, but I learned how to swim in the ocean. And it's like, and there was no floaties. There was no floaties. This man stood where he was standing when he threw me. Like he threw me. I flew. And if you know the ocean, there are currents. And this particular day, it felt like those currents were like crazy. And all I remember was instantly like fighting for my life, fighting for my life to live. And I remember like inside, someone whispered in my brain and said, Latifah, stop fighting. Stop fighting. Stop fighting the water. Stop fighting the currents. Stop fighting the waves. If you keep fighting, you're going to die. If you keep fighting, you're going to die. I remember this conversation like it was yesterday. It was like the more you fight, the more you're going to, go down. Granted, he was just standing there. And like my father is military. So he just standing there and I'm literally, I guess within, spirit is talking to me and it is letting me know like you need to relax. And I thought the more I relax I would die, right? As a kid, you think like, oh, I have to fight to live. And that's basically what I have been learning anyway throughout life, is that I had to fight to live. And this particular moment dealing with water, and it's gonna make sense when we get somewhere like why this is not traumatizing to me anymore, is actually a strength. So I just literally start to relax because I knew like at least I know how to float. But if you are in the water, in the ocean water, you know that like a wave can come and crash and knock your float off. So I literally had to learn to go with the flow of water. And I started to relax. I started to stop fighting the water. I stopped going under. I was going under. I was going under, coming up, going under, coming up. Like, I knew one thing, that if I go under, I knew how to try to come back up, but I can't do that if I'm fighting. So I was drowning. And because I was fighting. And it's like, once I stopped fighting and I just relaxed and went with the flow of water, I learned how to swim. That day I learned how to swim, and it was arm motions. Like I literally kicked my legs and did my arms and learned how to swim. And that part didn't come in until I was able to relax. I couldn't even hear him. To me, he was just standing there because you got the waves going on and all that stuff. So I couldn't even hear him. I wasn't able to hear him tell me the rules of swimming until I was able to relax and let the water flow and flow with the water. And then that's when I was able to swim closer to shore. So he was in the water at a certain distance. However, what he did was very fucking dangerous. I could have got taken away. Her being a bystander of it is crazy to me now that I'm a mother. Like, nigga, you'd have lost your mind. Go get my child. We gonna do this in another environment, and we're gonna do this a little less harsh. But those were my lessons very early on in life. So I always, I made these videos and I always told you how like I picked hard in life. I'm not even quite sure if I'm just picking hard in life because, like I was just picking hard. I think I picked hard and challenging in life because that's what I knew. And that's just what I knew. I started out with that. Like, if I've told y'all this story, I don't know, because I might have told y'all this story. Like, I was a little kid. Like, I was probably about like 3 years old. Like, it was snowing outside. I don't know if I posted this story. I hope I did post this story, because this is the type of abuse I was facing in this house, and I was confused growing up that, I didn't even think, I knew it was wrong, but because they didn't know it was wrong, I thought it was okay. So like I remember being 3, like I was only 3, I wasn't even in school yet. And I know I was 3 because I know I was 3. And then I even went and fact checked myself all these years later. It was 3. It was the time we had the blizzard in Richmond. It was 1993. And I was 3 years old. And I remember being excited about it snowing. And my dad and my mom was having a conversation because my dad had came to shovel out the door and shovel the walkway. And they was having a conversation. He was getting ready to leave, but I wanted to play with my dad in the snow. Like, my dad had came over, he shoveled the snow, and he just gave my mom attention. He didn't give me any attention. And that's kind of like how the life went. It was like, I got bad attention. It's like I got bad attention, but I was never getting the attention like that I wanted from my father. So, but you know, like he was having a conversation with my mom, and as a little girl, I'm not realizing like, you know, I'm being rude or I'm interrupting their conversation. I'm being annoying. I don't know any of this. Like, I'm just looking at it like I want to play in the snow with my father. Like, you're not even here, dude, all the time. Like, you're here now. Like, I want to play with you. And so I'm throwing like these light little snowballs. They hit him on contact. They turn into fucking powdery dust because I am only 3. I don't even think I had gloves. Like, we're just playing in the snow. Well, I'm just playing in the snow. And like, I remember my dad telling me no the first time, like, don't hit him with the snowball. Second time, and I'm laughing. Like, I'm laughing because I'm thinking, you know, like, let's play. I'm not hurting you. I was annoying him, but I didn't understand that concept. I did understand that no man no, but we're playing. Like, so I think maybe 2 or 3 more, like the third time. I think the third time he had enough. It was the second or the third time. It doesn't take much with him. So it was the second or the third time. Because I always used to tell people, like, my dad ain't never beat me. He never beat me with a belt. Like, he never beat me with a belt. But he did take that ice snowball. He went over. He got mad because a 3-year-old, kept throwing snowballs at him. He got mad and he took a snowball, made a snowball, a compact snowball, like an adult snowball. Like, because I'm a kid, I can't make an adult snowball. I don't even know how. I'm playing in the snow for the first time, probably. Like, so he makes a real snowball. It's a perfect snowball. I'm like amazed, like, oh, he's finally about to play with me, naive little child. And he goes a step further, and there was a spot in our neighborhood that used to collect water, and he goes over there and he literally puts the snowball in the water, then takes more snow and compact it around that, walks up slowly to me and throws a snowball right in my face. So I got hit, like, it felt like I was being hit by a brick. And because basically he had made ice and made snow around it, but in the inside it was ice. So when it hit me, I got hit, and it just hurt. It really hurt. And all I remember was like busting out crying upon impact. Like, it was not even just that my feelings was hurt. Like, I was physically hurt and my feelings was hurt. And my mom she just stood there and she didn't do anything. And so sometimes when I think about like my mother wound versus my father wound, like, some people might think, well, like, your mom didn't do the things that was done to you by either of your father figures, but you're really, really mad at her. And it's like, I'm really, really mad at them in a sense. Like, I was really, really mad at them. Like, I don't even give a shit no more. I'm giving it to God. It's above me. It's above me now, and I'm not going to be sick being mad with them. But I was able to get through that quicker because, number one, they don't play a major role in my life. Number one. That's number one. So, very much easy to, like, out of sight, out of mind, that. Number two, I never really looked at them to protect me like I did with her. So, like, her role in my life was different since she was the one that was there from the beginning. I had my trust and love more deeply intertwined with her than I did them. I do feel like that is, you know, I've had to work through like a lot of stuff with that. Like, I don't blame her for it happening to me. I blame her for how she responded to it. I blame her for how she continues to show up in my life every day. Had I not been in this situation, I probably would not even have a relationship with my mom, if that makes sense. Because that's just the point. of my healing that I've gotten to is like, and it hurts saying that sometimes, like, but at this time, because it's a confusion thing. It's like, this lady took care of me, this lady sacrificed for me, but this lady was very emotionally absent. She was not able to protect me emotionally. The things that happened to me, I don't look at it as her fault. I look at it as she was abused too somewhere down the line, and I don't know what type of abuse she faced, but she had to be abused some type of way, because it wasn't just with the men, like even down to my aunt. The reason she stopped sending me to my aunt house wasn't because she made the executive decision to stop sending me to my aunt house. It was because my father told her to stop sending me to my aunt house. She kept sending my brother to my aunt house even after what happened to me, and God only knows what happened to him there. We wouldn't know, because if he don't tell, then we don't know. So, but I do know what happened to me, and it's probably some stuff that I can't even remember happened to me that happened to me. So, but the stuff that I do remember, like, nobody's child should have been there. Nobody's. And so it wasn't just with the men that she couldn't show up and protect me. I think it's this familiar aspect that, like, if it's family, we forgive and we forget. We forgive and we forget, and we forget. When I say we forget and we forget. Not we don't forgive and we not we forgive and we never forget. She forgets. And that's her stuff. But I think the wound was very deep, because it's like I expected more out of you. And you were so hard on me. Yet, I don't know, it's kind of like I put her on this pedestal, like idolizing your parent. I think that's where I went wrong. I idolized her as this person, well, as this God. Like, she, was the all to be all at a lot of points in my life. And realizing, like, and I've already went through this realization way before I got here, like realizing that, like, she wasn't perfect, and she's a human being, just like, she's going through this experience as well. And just maybe having these unrealistic views of who she was. She was supposed to be like, the superwoman. Like, that's what you see as a child, and like, she did not show up like that. So, like, I do realize, like, I do have some mother wounds that I have to still work through. She calls them, but like, it's like, I'm not attaching them to her. She laid down the foundation for these, but like, it is my responsibility to work through these things, see them and heal them, work on them, call them out, be accountable for how they show up with me, my child, and other people. But that wasn't even why I told the story. I had to tell the snowball story, because like, my mom never did nothing. She used to say, like, well, I wish, something in me, she said something in me told me, like, to draw my fist back and hit him. But then someone was like, well, he did tell her no, she need to learn. But I don't think a 3-year-old should have learned the lesson of no like that. Definitely when y'all motherfuckers, no don't mean no for y'all. No don't mean no for y'all. So I thought we was playing. Like, the fuck y'all play? Like, no don't mean no for y'all. When I didn't want something, it didn't mean no for y'all. Like, the fuck. So, very confusing. And as a 3-year-old, like, I wouldn't teach my 3-year-old that lesson that way, but both of those people were born during Jim Crow, very, very much given slave mentality. And when I say that, I say that with the utmost respect for my ancestors who had to endure that bullshit. But I still say it with a distaste to, they had the resources to try to figure some things out for their kids. They did not have to keep giving their kids that abuse. So like, both of my parents, my mom was born in the 50s, like literally 1950. My dad was born 1948. So I literally, for my age, I have very older parents. And so I didn't get raised with the same upbringing as other kids my age. Most of their parents were in their 30s, where my parents were in their 50s. And Shit, my parents were like 40 and 42 when they had me. So I was raised with a lot of the back in the day, basically the survival stuff. That's why I say I can't say it in a disrespectful way, because it literally served a purpose for a certain period of time. It was to survive. They couldn't, sit there and explain everything to their children, because their children had to respect massa or the white man, period. So they literally ain't had time to explain why. They literally showed you. And they literally did things corporal punishment wise. And it made sense back then, because I would rather, this was something we spoke about in my household. Like, I would rather discipline you, whether it's physically or whatever. Like, I would rather discipline you now in my household before you get out into the real world and the white man had to discipline you. Because when you go to jail, baby, yeah, you can file them complaints all the fuck you want to. What are they gonna do? I done seen niggas starving in there. I done seen niggas not have the medication and the health care that they deserve. I done seen a lot of shit happen in there. Be beat, all kind of shit. Like, and so I get it. I get having that logic for back then. But going forward, we don't need that. And I've been shedding a lot of this. So I've been seeing my mother wounds come up in my own parenting. I've been seeing my mother wounds come up with me and how I value myself and treat myself and define my self-worth. So I've had to shed a lot of it. And I'm still a work in progress. There is no perfection. The perfection is, me being satisfied with where I'm at. That's my perfection. So, but I am ever, evolving and ever growing and healing and working on stuff. So to get back to the point, because that kind of segued, but to get back into the point of how I learned how to drown, I almost died learning how to drown. Because if anybody know, being in the pool water, you can kind of get a drink of that, and it doesn't, choke you and feel like you're gonna die, because you just swallowed a boatload of like salt water. So like, it was a lot of combinations going on right there. Like, I was fighting salt water, like, because that stuff was nasty. And I was fighting, the current. I was fighting, trying to stay alive, and realizing that, like, this is the epiphany, like, I had, like, basically all my life I've been fighting, and it's finally dawned on me to like relax and just go with the flow. Like, I've been telling people, like, like, we'll make, I have friends that are like extreme planners, and I've never been like an extreme planner. I've been one of those people that's kind of like in between. Like, I like a little plan with a little room for flexibility for disaster or things that's gonna happen, even the thrills that can happen, like, just leading you somewhere else, or shit, maybe, the tire gets flat. Like, I like to be flexible, because I know, like, it gets stressful for me, and that's how I used to like combat not flying off the handle, like, in public, because it's like, at home I can fly off the handle, and like, I've learned I don't even like doing that. Like, I want to be at peace at home. I want to be at peace outside. I want to be at peace within, without, period. Like, as above, as below. Like, I just want to be really, truly at peace. I don't want to just practice tactics to get me through life. And but I've learned, like, just reflecting on that situation of fighting to survive and not really surviving. Like, I literally was about to die. So like, now I'm at this point in my life where I don't want to fight no more. And it's like, I am in a flow state. And so I be having these friends that make these like awesome plans, and I be kind of laughing at it, and I just be like, I'm not making no plans. Like, oh, what you doing for? I really don't have a plan. Like, what you doing for I'm going with the flow of things, because I understand that things can come up. Like, it was just like, I wanted to do a certain event early this March. And it was like, I wanted to do that event so bad and I wanted to be there. And then it was like something happened with my child, just for me taking a freaking day to myself. And so it was like, um, I really needed to like be there with my child. So I had to be flexible. And so I'm learning to go with the flow. I'm learning that if I make plans, pay that extra for that insurance in case I need to cancel. Because I just have to go with the flow of things. I can't sit here and fight or force my way. Whatever is meant for me is going to be meant for me. Whatever is going to come to me is going to come to me. It was funny because, like, literally, you know, I was in this chase mentality. I was in this fight mentality. I was in this the cortisol levels were high. The cortisol levels were high. I hope I said that right. But they were very high. They were very high, and it's like now I'm just, my guards aren't up, but the guards are at standby. Like, but my guards aren't up. Um, but literally, it's just being at peace that like every situation does not cause for a fight. Sometimes a situation calls for you to realize that you don't control anything. The only thing you control is you. I couldn't control the currents in that water. I couldn't control the salt intensity levels. Like, I couldn't control if an animal came up and carried me away. Like, all I could do is relax and go with it. Well, that I would have tried to fight even more, but when it comes to water and these elements of life, you can't control them. Like, you can only go with the flow of it. It's like even with the fire that happened a couple of weeks ago, you couldn't control it. Like, it got out of hand very quickly. Fire combined with air, it got out of hand very quickly. Um, it got out of hand very quickly, and it was like that you couldn't you it took more than one person to handle that. So it was like it's very eye-opening to realize like sometimes you need help in life. You got to know when you need help. You got to know how to utilize your help. Sometimes in life you think you need to fight and you just need to let go. You just need to let go. You need to let go. And letting go doesn't mean giving up. Letting go can just literally mean relaxing on that situation. Like, don't hold it too tight and don't hold it too loose. Like, letting it go would be able to let it flow wherever it needs to go. So I don't know who needs to hear that, but that was definitely an epiphany for me today, just from reflecting back on how I learned how to swim in meditation. It came up in meditation, and it didn't hurt because I used to be mad when I used to tell that story. Like, I used to be pissed off, um only because my dad's daughter, she used to like brag about how, they threw her in the pool and she was like a baby and she took off swimming. And I'm like, well, bitch, I got thrown in the ocean. It must be nice. And I know when people say it must be nice, like, that's some hater shit. But I really felt like it must be nice, like, because you got her talking about how she, got thrown into the pool and she could swim. And then you got other siblings talking about, well, he didn't even take me to the pool or the ocean. And I'm like, well, you can have my spot. And I always felt like that. Like, I always felt like my siblings used to be thinking that, like, I was the one that had it great. None of us fucking had it great. None of us did. We lived with monsters. And I never lived with them, thank God. But I lived with monsters, and none of us had it great. But everybody be trying to think, oh, well, you look on the outside. Like, I had to fight for everything I had. Like, I had to fight for everything I had. And I'm done. I'm done. I'll go down a champ. I fought very well, and I'm proud of myself, but fight for what now? Like, whatever's meant for me is meant for me. And I'm all right with that. Like, it's a flow state over here, baby. Like, it's a flow state. I go where the wind blows. I go where the water take me. And shit. I only play with fire when fire invites me to play. But I don't play with fire. I don't force it. I don't force it. A lot of y'all be forcing that. You do got people who like literally has mastered the art of fire. Um, You got the people like the flamethrowers. Everybody who play with fire know that you're gonna get burned. Like, that's a part of playing with fire. Like, it's to the point like now where I literally can hold my hand over fire and it doesn't burn me like right away. I literally touch stuff on the stove. Like, my daughter be like, yo, you can do that. Like, I got mom hands. That's what she think they are, mom hands. But like, I play with fire so much, like it takes a little bit for me to get burned. But playing with fire, I've learned to respect it. Because fire can get out of control. And I learned that at a very early age. A very early age, fire can get out of control real quick. I used to play with fire all the time. I was very intrigued by fire. But I have respect for fire. So I have respect for all these elements. All of them. So, yeah, we just go with the flow over here. I let the day take me. I do know there will be days that are more structured, and I'm fine with that, but I'm used to structure. I'm used to having overly structured days where I have to account for every millisecond of the day. And that's why having the ability to just be has been a godsend. It is a blessing. It is a blessing. So if you are afforded that, be grateful. I have to be grateful and remind myself to be grateful all the time, because my environment isn't, I don't always want to be where I wake up every day, but I can say that I'm grateful, that I can't, it's a certain amount of comforts I have physically. Emotionally, I have worked through it where, like, this is temporary. This is not where I'm gonna, die. And if I do, it just is. Like, that's another thing too. Like, if I was to go tomorrow, like, the only thing I would be worried about is my kid being left with these people. So I definitely would not want her to be left with these people. I'm making a video and I'm going to post it. Like, I don't want her to be left with these people. Not a family member, not a person in my family that I want to raise her. Not one. Not one. She does have a godmother. Not even her father. Not her father's side of the family. Like, they did not align with my morals and values. She does have a godmother. But if she couldn't take her, I have a best friend, but she don't like kids. But that's not a kid. That's a teenager. Take the child. Don't let these people raise her. And I also had a person in mind. And I'm not saying this to be morbid or nothing like that. It's just like, I really don't want these people to raise her. Like, y'all did a job on me. Like, why would I want y'all to raise her? No, I'm good. So yeah, there's a old coworker I had that was really like close to Charlotte. I would love for her, but my family, no, not a soul, not a soul. Maybe one of my aunts, just, but she's retired, so I don't even want to put that on her. But anyway, that's it. That's all. So, yep. Enjoy the flow. Enjoy the flow. I feel like there is life after trauma. I'm finding my way. I tell these stories and I tell these messages because I don't want to keep them held in. I want to share them with others, and I hope that they actually help other people. So yeah, I think that's all for this story, and I'm gonna post it sometime today, I guess.